Okay, let's try that again. I am going to be looking at this year 8 assignment again for the data task. So I'm going to be concentrating on questions 7, 8, and 9 for this one. So if we go back to the graph I made, it's a time spent playing games. Oops, let's not do that. All right. Is there extreme values here? We can see most of the data fits between 2 and 5 hours per week. There's also a 6. No one seems to be playing 5.5 hours a week, but we can see there's one person over here who plays for 8 hours a week. That is significantly far away that we can call that an outlier. So in answering question 7, yes, we have one person plays video games for 1 hour per week. And you could say, and justify the reasonableness. The outlier doesn't make sense in real life and says it is extreme, but is possible. So you might have someone who's just very lazy or very addicted to video games, or maybe that's their lifestyle. They play video games professionally, and they need to play for more than 8 hours a week. So you can put some other arguments into like why it might be reasonable. I'll let you guys have a think about that and put in some really smart ideas about that. Describe the overall distribution of the set in 2.7 sentences. Okay, so let's have a look at our graph again. Now, I should actually have pasted in here. Did I paste it in here? I did. Okay. You can say, well, we've got a lot less data on this side, so you can say, particularly with the middle being about here, you can say that's positively skewed. Um, Otherwise, I think that's fine. All right, so I'm going to say positively skewed. And it peaks. All right, so where's the highest modal class is 4. And because that's these are all particular values, we can say that's the mode. All right, so let's go on with actually do some calculations. So I don't know why, but my page has disappeared. Let's get rid of that. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go and work through this one. So we are working with the video games, and in particular, we're doing the hours per week. Okay, so if you weren't doing for your graph, if you weren't doing a numerical set, this one has to be a numerical set. All right, let's go to, we need to go and work out these ones. So, but on your worksheet, there's actually a little bit of space where you can go and work this out. So the way to do that, let's remind ourselves of our commands. So whenever you want Excel to do something, you can press equal. Okay. Now, another word for mean, there is no, if you type this in, there is no mean. There is these other means, which we're not going to use. So another word for mean is average. Start typing the average, A-V-E. Okay, and there you go. Click on that for average. Now, what we want to do is group. So whatever you're choosing to do, you can group up your group. I'm going to group up time per week in hours. So go and do all of that. And okay, and that should go and calculate the mean. So put a close bracket on the end there, and you're done. Okay, so on average, people spend 3.78 hours per week if you round it off. Okay, if you do want to round it off a bit more, you can make things longer and smaller by clicking on these ones. So that's decrease. Is that right? No, that's something else. I need to go into data to do that. It's not too important. There's a way to do that. You can round things off. I just forgot which menu screen it's in. Yeah, I think it's this one actually. Yeah, click on that one. See, you can add more zeros, or you can round it off. So 3.8. I think we rounded off 2 decimal places for our one. Okay, now do the median. Okay, so start typing the median. Median. There we go. And we're going to highlight the same numbers again. Okay, so it's a different measure of center. Okay. All right. I don't know why that one's on the left and that one's on the right. Might have something to do with me playing around with these ones. So let's do that. Okay. The numbers should be in the right. That's typically how they align. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I got it to do that. Okay. The last one, mode. MO. You need to click on this one here. I'm not sure if the other ones will work, but I know this one does. So let's go and again, let's go and click on all our time per week and hours. Although this one you can actually get off your graph because we already worked it out basically. Okay. So the mode for that one is 4, which you can see here. See, 4 has the highest frequency. So that second column, maybe we'll make that a little bit bigger. And so that's time per week, hours. And this one here is frequency. Why aren't you typing? Let's type in bold. Because that's how many times those particular values occur in the set. All right, so and we can see the highest frequency is 4, so that's why it's the mode. But we just got Excel to confirm. Now the range is your maximum value minus your minimum. So we got to work both of those out. And we need to write a formula for that. So start off with max. Okay, so we type the maximum, and then we highlight these. Okay, and there's your maximum. Close your bracket. All right, now you can press enter and work it out, but you would have to go and do more to it anyway. So why don't we just take care of the min while we do it here? Okay, and then we do min, okay. And we need to highlight the same data again for that one. Let's make sure we've got our cursor there. We'll click on these ones, yep. All right, so we've taken the largest value and subtracted the smallest value, and there's our range. It is 6. So what we can do now is, let's just go and copy those over into our table. All right, so let's go and align all of these correctly. I don't know why you're right clicking. Okay. All right. So 3.5, mode is 4, and range is 6. Okay. All right. Now the next part, what your expectation is to redo all of that. I'm not going to do it for you, but I will show you the first step. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take that column or whichever column you're working with that's numerical. It's probably better if you pick one that has got an outlier, so at least in this purpose, you got something to do. We're then going to cross and make ourselves a little bit of space. So we're going to paste the numbers here. Now, what we're going to do as well is we are going to go into data and we're going to sort. Let's sort these in order. So you can click data and click on this one that says sort from smallest to largest. It doesn't actually matter which one you do. All right. In fact, why don't we do it backwards? Because what I wanted to do was get rid of the outlier. So remember from our graph, which is right next to us, just go across, we have an outlier of 8. That will affect some of these measurements. It will definitely affect the range and it will affect the mean more than anything else in terms of the 3 values there. It's unlikely to affect the mode. In fact, I'm pretty certain it won't. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrub out the outlier. So that was extreme. Person playing for 8 hours a day, 8 hours a week rather, that was too much. Okay, what we're going to do is we then can highlight these um, and you can go and calculate them all again. Now, I'm going to cheat. Basically, I'm just going to go back over here. I'm going to find where the 8 is. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ping, get rid of it. Okay, it's gone. Now, that will go and update all of these. You see that? All the numbers have changed. Well, some of them have changed. The median didn't actually. Median is 3.5 still. It could have changed, but it's the least likely to be affected of the 3 of these. In fact, sorry, the mode was the least likely to be affected. The mean did change because you removed something out of the set. So you've subtracted something that was added on the top, and also there's one less thing to divide on the bottom. So we've got the same set, but now it's we've got 3.67. Median is 3.5. The mode is 4, and the range is 4. So that goes into our question 10 as well. All right, so yeah, so I'm gonna go and put that 8 back in. And if I do that, my old question 9 should update. So let's put that 8 back in. Yeah, you see they're back to the numbers they were before. But we got our numbers for question 10, so we can enter them in. Okay, so question 10, 3.67, 3.5, 4, and 4 for the range. Okay, so you notice that it has an effect on those ones. Now, I'll give you a little bit of free advice for this one. Medians, typically use median as the most common measure for something like if you were to look on a street, you would ask the median house price. Why do you do that? Well, usually on some streets, you might find that someone has a two-story house, usually on the corner, or they have a lot more land on the corner, or the corner's just nicer. Like you have a really nice house down the street. Having a very expensive house on a street that's otherwise very samely will affect the mean value because you add this big number. However, the median is the middle. It is less affected by that. Mode isn't always a common use. You can group things up and call it a modal class, but in terms of just numbers and this, mode isn't good for continuous values or if there's a lot of difference between the range of values. All right. So median typically gets used more than mean in lots of cases when there are extreme values in the set. Okay. And you can talk about those changes here. So what changed, what didn't change in that case. All right. So I'm going to let you play around with your own set of data using that. All right. See you in the next video.